So still with brands that are present on both sides, let's quickly talk about Harry Winston. I just wanted to mention some pretty nice métier watches we saw with this silk dials and gold marking on them. That was pretty nice. But let's move on now and let's talk about more affordable watches, and we'll start with Eberhard, who, following the success of the Scapograph 300 introduced last year, well, they presented a GMT version of this watch, which, by the way, is no longer considered as a diver's watch. And this watch comes at a decent price of 3,800 Swiss francs with the steel bracelet, 3,150 francs with the rubber version. But since it's the brand's 130th anniversary this year, well, they came out with a limited edition of their famous Chrono 4, naturally limited to 130 pieces. The particularity of this watch is the horizontal alignment of the 4 subdials, and this watch costs 8,630 Swiss francs compared to the 5,340 francs for the normal or the new version presented to us. Still in the affordable watch section, let's say a word about Oris, because I really think that this brand is part of the value for money club of watch brands, and the Artelier Caliber 113 launched this year is for sure a pretty decent watch. This watch holds the 4th generation of watch movement developed and manufactured by the brand since 2014, so quite active there. And it features what they call a business calendar with a number of the week indication, which also works as a month indicator, but also with the day and date indications, and very importantly, it benefits from 10 days of power reserve, quite something. And even more importantly, it is priced at 5,900 Swiss francs, so pretty neat, I think. But let's continue in that price category, as Eterna is celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Kontiki expedition, and the Kontiki is an important collection for them, and they therefore came with a few novelties there. Well, first, the bronze version, limited to 300 pieces and priced at 2,890 Swiss francs, and I don't recall any other bronze watches at this price level. It comes in a 44mm case with a granite grey dial. It's water resistant 200 meters, and it's the brand's own movement inside, so not a bad deal either. And I would also like to mention the 1940 tachymeter watch based on a historic model, and this flyback chrono coming in this bronze polish case also looks pretty nice, and it's limited to 100 pieces. At Tag Heuer, we saw the revival of the Ottavia, and this watch now comes in a 43mm steel case, but 15.6mm thick, so quite thick, as it holds the in-house Heuer 02 chronograph movement beating at 4 Hz. A caliber that was initially developed a few years ago, but put to rest when Mr. Jean-Claude Biver took over the brand. So this movement is back in action, and I must say that this watch looks pretty cool. It comes either with a metal or leather bracelet, and is decently priced, meaning under the 5,000 Swiss franc mark. And Frédéric Constant continued down the route of affordable complication, and this year they introduced a flyback chronograph for less than 4,000 Swiss francs. Yep, you heard me right. And slightly above this for the gold-plated version. So the engine is their own manufactured movement. Took quite some time to develop, but again, such a watch at this price is definitely sending a message. Okay, there are tons of other watches we could have covered, but that's it for the watches we wanted to mention in this summer edition. And let's now talk about the side stories. And as you can imagine, Baselworld is a place where there are plenty of them. Brands organize events and parties outside of the fair, but inside the hall they also try to make things move and groove around their booth. And I mentioned Bulgari before, and they definitely made it happen again this year when they formally introduced this new ultra-flat record holder timepiece. So up they went for the show with some nice celebrities that I didn't know any of them, I must admit, but apparently they were super famous. Along that line, Hublot made no exception, and they had legendary group Depeche Mode on their stand for a press conference, and the previous night they had organized a private concert for some happy few. By Maurice Lacroix, the theme was more artistic, with a real happening and on-site creation with American artist Alexa Mead, who showed us her original 2D-like painting skills, and so let's quickly listen to her.
Alexa, could you describe us a little bit your art?
In my work, I paint directly into a three-dimensional space in a way that makes it look like a two-dimensional painting. And for Maurice Lacroix, I've painted the New York City skyline and created the view of being in a beautiful New York apartment and looking out and seeing your world.
Time being important, how long has it taken you?
Time being important, it's probably been 6 hours today of painting, and yesterday about 15 hours of painting.
And Stéphane, so how did this collaboration came into being?
Well, you know, we have a new campaign for our Icon watch, which is our biggest revelation of this year. And we're looking for something very fresh, something new for the brand. And we thought, okay, let's work with an artist. But more important, I mean, we saw what Alexa was doing, and we started talking together. And we saw, okay, what you can do is, hey, can you do a skyline? Can we integrate this? And really working together. And we're really, you know, really impressed of the talent she has and the effect. And it's something really good for the brand. So we really want to push the freshness here.
So all the brands try to exist and create some hype around them during the show.